Hello, this is Brenda Green. Welcome back to Living in the Go. Today I'm talking to you about being frugal. And before you say it, frugal is not a dirty word. It's something that I live by because I want to be able to get the things that I want and need. And when I'm frugal around the things that I can control, it helps me to have more money in my pocket. So to me, that's what frugal means. So I have a few tips for you. I want to share those with you. First, replace. So if something wears out, you replace it, but you don't add, meaning that you put the new item in and you get rid of the old item. You want to make sure that you have a minimal things in and only get the things that you really, really need. Sometimes people have too much stuff. So they replace, or they might like something, they get two or three of it. You're not going to wear out two or three. Wear the one. So again, replace and don't add. You want to declutter, you want to purge, but making sure that you have the things in your closet specifically, or even in your cabinet, that you're going to need and use on a daily basis. So next tip would be sleep on it before you buy. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're going to go buy a big ticket item, have you thought about it? Have you looked around to see if you could get a better price for it? So sleep on it. You don't have to get it that moment, wait 24 hours, especially if you're buying it online, because if you wait 24 hours and you don't buy the item, if it's in your basket, the people who are selling that product, the manufacturers, will maybe give you a coupon for it so you get even less off. But sometimes you might realize, I was doing an impulse buy, I didn't really need that, so sleep on it. Another tip, DIY. If you could do it yourself, save yourself some money and some heartache. Do it yourself. I myself am a DIYer, and I'll tell you this, last week I did 3 projects. I fixed my toilet, I put a new part in, yay. I unclogged the drain all by myself, yay. And I painted my patio. All things that would have cost so much money, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for other people to do it. I did it just for the parts, my own labor, so that doesn't really count. So do DIY if you can. Make sure that you look at a project. You can Google anything these days. I went on Google anything, go to YouTube. They have classes that can show you how to do things, and give it a try. If you don't work out, that's all right. You still can call a repair person, but give it a shot and see if you can do it. Next thing is to make your home comfortable. I know during COVID, people had to spend a lot of time indoors, and they were inside and thinking, oh, this is feel good, or this room is like shabby or whatever. Well, make your home comfortable. If there's a room that you're in all the time, then decorate it. Look at it in terms of an investment, because you're going to spend a lot of time there, which will make you happy. That keeps you from going out so much, maybe spending money you don't have to, going to restaurants you don't have to, shopping when you don't have to. So make your home comfortable, make it fit for you. Another thing, people buy plastic bottles of water all the time. Get a filter. I have filtered water in my refrigerator. I don't buy bottled water because, again, you really don't know where that bottled water is coming from. And it hurts the environment, all that plastic. So get your own water bottle, get your own filter, and do that yourself. You will save tons and tons of money and have good, clean water. Cook your meals. I say that all the time to people. I know they think, what is she talking about? But when you cook your own meals, you save a lot of money. You can also make sure the ingredients that you use are good and fresh. I know sometimes there are favorite things that I love, and so I taste them out in restaurants. I go, I can make this myself. Nobody can beat me on my ribs. That's all I'm saying. So think about it and cook some meals. If it doesn't have to be every meal, if you commit to cooking one meal a day for yourself, you will still save a lot of money. Maybe save enough. Take your lunch to work. The meal that you cook, make it bigger and take it to lunch. You'll save so much money. And that's being frugal, but it also, you can have a really, really great lunch. Another thing, what I call consignment shops or thrift shops or whatever. If you want to buy something, a designer thing and whatever, you can go to one of these shops and maybe find the item that you're looking for 1/3 of the price. Also, if you have some designer things that you're not using, you haven't worn in years, they don't fit anymore or whatever, take it to the consignment shop and get some money for it. Again, being frugal, because waste not, want not. Another thing to consider is the things that you do have in your house that have been sitting around and you don't use it and they have some value, sell them. You can put it on eBay, you can do it in Facebook Market. There's so many places that you can sell items now. So sell it and get you some money back. Another thing is to ask for a discount. I'll give you a story. Years ago, I was out with a friend and she was looking at a chair for her daughter's room. It was a beautiful chair. They were asking way too much money for it. And so she was like, well, I guess I won't get it. I said, why don't you ask for a discount? She said, what? I said, if you pay it cash, she'll probably say, yeah. So she asked her if she could knock $75 off the chair. And the woman said, yes. Lo and behold, she went home with the chair. So it never hurts to ask for a discount. If you're in a store and you see something and it's got a little nick on it, maybe clothing, a button missing or whatever, and you know you can fix it and replace it, ask for that discount. I promise you they will never say no because they want to get rid of the inventory. Another thing is to buy in advance. So if you know you're doing a family vacation next year, big vacation, don't wait to the last minute. Start looking now. Book your hotel in advance or pay for the tickets for the airline in advance. You'll save a whole lot of money by doing it in advance. I try to do things ahead of time all the time, and it helps me tremendously. So think about that. Think about your hours in terms of money. So what is your time worth? So if you're out there doing things and it's spending hours and hours and hours of your time, look at it in terms of the dollar value. So if you, let's say, make 20 bucks an hour, but you're looking at something that's going to take you 12, 13, 14 hours to do, whereas a professional could come in and do it in an hour, that's a savings for you. Think about your time as money. Another thing is if you have a thermostat in your house, get a programmable one. I installed one in my old house and it was a lifesaver because I could program it for a certain temperature. When we went to bed, we could lower it. It saved me so much money in terms of how much my heating bill was. So that's another thing to do to be frugal. Here's one that's one of my favorites, and I've had one since I was a little girl. Get a library card. And I know you might say, oh, we can see everything online, whatever. But sometimes people like to read, like to get movies. There are so many resources at the library for you. Get a library card. During COVID, I would go online and put in things that I wanted, and then I would go pick the books up because I like a hardback when I'm reading. So get a library card. No harm in that. There are so many resources. It's beyond just the books and things. There are programs that they have for people there, and it's all free. Get a library card. The next thing to do is when you're shopping, people are like brand whores, excuse the expression, but they like, I gotta have this certain brand, I gotta have this certain brand. Well, I'll tell you, very, very rich people, they go for quality. It may or may not have a label on it or something you've never heard of. The brand is not necessarily important. If you get a quality piece of clothing, doesn't matter what the brand is. Does it fit well? Does it look well? Will it last you a long time? So forget about the brands and go for the quality of the piece of things that you're gonna buy. I'm not saying get some cheap stuff to be frugal. That's not what frugal means. Frugal means if you buy a quality piece of clothing that will last you 10, 15 years. That's being frugal. Another thing, and it's a silly thing too, but clean your dryer lint out. So in your dryer, there's lint in there, and sometimes people forget about it. You know it's flammable, it can burn your house down. Make sure you keep that clean because it also helps to dry your clothes a little bit more efficiently, again, being frugal. Another thing, shop your pantry. Sometimes we be buying stuff at the store. We don't know how much is in there. We're buying. And it's too much because when you look in the cabinet and go, oh my God, I got 12 ketchups. Don't do that. Shop in your pantry. When you're making some dishes, go in your pantry, see what you have first. Use everything up in there until you have to go out and shop again. Make your favorite foods. I mentioned that earlier. If there's a favorite thing that you like, figure out the ingredients and make it yourself. You will save tons of money. When you're shopping in the store, shop with a list. I can't tell you how many times people walk into a store and just buying things haphazardly because they're hungry or whatever. That's another thing. Don't go to the store hungry. But make sure you have a list. Stick to your list because that also reflects what your budget is. If your budget is $100 for the week for food, have your list and you will stick to that and you will stick to your budget. Have a garden. Sometimes it's difficult. Believe it or not, you can grow plants inside your house. But some of the main things that you use, especially in the summertime, grow lettuce, cucumbers, and whatever, so you can have fresh fruits. And you can even can some things as fall comes. But try to have a little garden for yourself. It certainly doesn't hurt. And the way things are now, things are so high, it doesn't hurt to have your own and have something that's fresh and you know how it was made because you grew it. When you're going on a trip, unplug all your appliances. I can't stress that enough because you're using electricity that you don't have to. And my last tip for you is to maintain your car. Now, what do I mean by that? Make sure you're getting your oil changes on a timely basis. Have your car checked out. because you'd be surprised how many people don't do that. Then the engine light comes on and they wonder what happened with the engine. The engine is all burnt out because you didn't maintain it. Check your tire pressure, because believe it or not, if the pressure is off, you're using more gas when you're driving. So maintain your car. Those are little things that will help you, hopefully. So these are my frugal tips. If you found something useful, great. If you have some frugal tips of your own, share it in the comment section. I'd be glad to have those. Thank you so much and have a great day.